Did you watch Glow this season, and what were your thoughts?
I haven't seen it. I heard it was pretty good.
Damn
Really
good.
good.
You saw it?
Yeah, it's
okay.
damn
So
good.
I'll check it out. But no, I was a huge fan of it back in the day. Of course, that's why I enjoyed talking with Little Egypt so much. But man, I was a huge fan. Man, dude, those girls paid a lot of dues.
They did.
You know, they paved the road for guys like us because I watched those ladies, those girls, every what was it, around 2 or 3 seasons. It
Yeah.
seems like it lasted longer than that. But I watched every single episode there was. I'm a huge fan. I have not seen it. What's on Netflix?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I will though. And then on that end, Angelina, Little Egypt has sent me several text messages and called me, and been giving me reminders. So I will watch it.
Glow, like the Glow series, the original one, like a lot of that stuff, like the behind the scenes, like vignettes and the him in the phone booth, like that was his office, and just like a lot of that stuff was picked up. Like, I mean, we ended up and even the gimmicks. Shit, that's early 90, early to mid 90s WWE gimmicks that Glow was doing.
They were. Dude, I'm a fan. That's all I can say.
They weren't technically very good. I wasn't a fan when I was a kid of the actual watching the matches because the matches were bad, and compared to the stuff I would see on other shows. But like you could tell they were, like somebody was telling them the right things to do.
Yeah, but
it's
I forgot,
just
man, who's that Russian chick who used to throttle everybody?
Nanichka.
Yeah. She was cool, and she kind of hot.
Yeah.
And she was just throwing beatdowns on people, and Little Egypt just sell her ass off. I mean, Jesus Christ! And then Tina Ferrari.
Yeah,
Ivory. I was a huge Tina Ferrari fan. So yeah, I dug it.
Yeah, it was great.
So, going back to your match at WrestleMania 13 with Bret Hart, was the plan always for there to be a double turn? And was there any hesitation from Vince McMahon for that?
No, hell, it was Vince's idea. And I'll never forget, man, we went to the finish room. This is Chicago, Rose Mountain Rising, my favorite building to work in. And Chicago has these rabid fans. And they're crazy. I love them. And so, I was getting hot as a baby, but I was a heel. And like when I'd come out of the match, a lot of times Brian was in the territory at that time, Pillman. And he'd go, GD, kid, you're a baby face. And I'd say, F you, dude, I'm a heel. Because you took being a heel or baby serious.
Yeah.
You weren't, you did. That's almost like calling you a name.
Right.
Calling you a baby face. Because you're getting more cheers than the baby face you're working with. And so that being said, and like we were talking about Superstar Billy Graham earlier, so there, and Bret had been around a long time. He was kind of starting to bitch a little bit and piss and moan. And Vince saw the opportunity to organically flip both of us. Mm-hmm. And yes, that was the goal of that match, was to do a double turn. And so we went in there, and it was just myself, Bret, and Vince. And he laid down the finish. And Bret says, okay, he's going over.
Yeah.
And I was going under, and I was fine with that, but I was just thinking, okay, we would just pass out, because that was just passing out was the finish. And the sharpshooter. And Shamrock did a great job being a star attraction from another sport, the toughest guy in the world.
Yeah.
And he did a premier job. So he added a lot to that match. And me and Bret would tell a tremendous story. And then I walked back out to the arena. Me and Bret were talking, and I wasn't feeling that finish. And I walked back in, and I wasn't going to complain about the finish. I was just talking to the old man. And you got to remember, Vince just turned 72 the other day.
That's right, yeah.
That was 17 years ago, so he was in his late
50s,
40s,
yeah,
whatever.
or early,
give or take.
something.
But I mean, he's really, really vital.
Yeah.
He's just energized, and had a vision for the business. Still does, but back then, I mean, he was like very involved. And I was like, Vince, I said, man, you really think it's finishing work? He goes, oh goddamn, Steve, trust me, it'll work.
Yeah.
And when he said that, I said, all right, you got it. So I walked back out to the ring, and it's in his book, so I'm not spilling any beans, trade secrets. But Bret looks at me, and we're just kind of looking around the ring, just thinking and putting shit together. And he goes, you know what, Steve? He goes, if you're going to pass out in a sharpshooter, he goes, you really ought to have color. And I said, you think? And he goes, yeah. And I said, man, I didn't have no stroke at the time. And he goes, long story short, he goes, if you're worried about it, I'll do it.
Yeah.
I'll get it. I said, okay. So anyway, we added that little addition to the match. That was the finish. The goal was to do a double turn. And when I came him out and I go hit that guardrail, that's where all the action happens from that standpoint. And boy, Chicago was kind of becoming a stronghold for me to begin with, and then that night really cemented it. And when I picked my head up at one time and that crowd saw that I had a good one going, I mean, they just came. And I remember when I was laying there in that sharpshooter and I pushed out our bridge that first time, I could feel that blood coming down my face through my teeth. I said, God dang, this is cool.
Gosh, yeah.
And then I bridged up one more time and couldn't make it out. And then, then Shamrock and Brett did what they did.
Yeah.